have headphones and I can hear myself.
It is a bit odd. It's a bit disconcerting, isn't it, Sam?
It is disconcerting.
So close. It also makes me realise how hard I enunciate my S's.
Do you?
Yes. I'm having a mare over here. I'm knocking shit over.
You've knocked your laptop
having a
charger over.
ton.
Oh, well, you know what? Fuck. You turned down the sound effects volume.
Yeah, I did. I knew this would happen. I knew that you'd be too tempted by Satan to play with the little sound effect knob on the new toy.
You just think I'm too distracted not to play with knobs.
100%. I know you.
Well,
I know you because I know me. And I know I was too tempted. So I was like, I'm taking this out of everyone's hands. Yeah. Big week?
yeah, it was. Thanks.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, pretty exhausting week at Bigsound. But before we get into that, I did have a theory. Because we were talking on the car ride here.
Yeah.
And I just, to open up the show, put it out there. We were listening to some music. You were playing air guitar.
Yeah.
And I have a theory that you never play an air instrument to an instrument that you know how to play.
Because long-time listeners will know that I'm classically trained as a drummer. And you are, in fact, on the sixth string often.
Yeah. And I never play air guitar. I play drums. I don't know what I'm doing, but I think with that comes, it's the lack of skill that boosts your confidence.
I think it's the that's not bad. It's not the worst. Oh, that Phil could have done with work though.
I don't know where the drums are.
It was more just there's a lot of drag. A lot of like, Yeah, beautiful. That was better. There's a lot of drums in there, but oh,
how's that?
Oh, watch out.
Oh.
The
Show us your air guitar.
Well, it's not going to work so well, is it? I look like I'm.
Yeah, but you've got to. I just did the. You've got to give us.
Meow.
Yuck. And the worst part was you were playing nipple guitar.
Yeah, well, I couldn't really. I can't really. I'm trapped by the microphone and the laptop, so it is what it is.
Results, not excuses. Next time, thank you.
Results may vary. But I thought I like that theory. Let's test that out. If you're an air guitarist, are you a real guitarist?
If you play jazz music and you're a trumpeter,
a flautist.
Yeah, do you
air flout?
Air flout.
Do you reckon
air piccolo?
The lead singer from Speed, do you reckon he's air flouting or he's like, I'm big on the bassoon, the air bassoon.
Sorry, for all those
great
listening,
for an
I'm
audio
actually
medium.
demonstrating how to play an air bassoon. Lots of air in the cheeks.
Yeah.
And then you play it down below.
That looks a lot like a saxophone. Should we get into some air podcasting, Sam?
No.
But by air podcasting, I mean real podcasting.
Probably, because we've been here fucking 3 shakes of a monkey's tail and haven't done anything. So hello to the show.
Hello to the show.
We were busy at Bigsound last week, which no one seemed to really give a shit about. But
everyone else seemed busy at the same time.
Yeah, we did come away with it, having shook some hands. We got some exciting news, hopefully to come, but we had some...
Yeah. Sam found an extra chip in his bag. Great news.
An extra chip?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was pretty stoked with that.
Yeah, you can't knock that.
No, but we had some promising conversations that, listeners should be excited about, hopefully. But more than anything, we saw some good upcoming bands, didn't we?
We sure did, Sam. We sure did. This week, I think, instead of something new, because all of the new music I've been listening to this week has been essentially just Bigsound artists. Essentially. So I thought, why don't we talk about the bands that we saw at Bigsound?
Okay.
And who we liked, who we didn't like.
Yep. I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it.
The word on the street was Kelly Holiday was terrible.
Yeah, so bit of context. Sam was not at all the first night shows. He was in and out, had some real life things to do.
Yeah.
Which is, fine.
Balancing.
I managed to make it to the Kelly Holiday show. Disappointing is the word I got to say. It was not necessarily bad, but just it was hyped. We have high expectations for one half of Peking Duck, and the room was packed out. I mean, like shoulder to shoulder, couldn't move. And by the end of the first song, I think most people had cleared out. So it was underwhelming. Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to the positives though. Town's always a good time.
Always a good time.
Park Road. I think there's some exciting things happening there. I really enjoyed Juno.
Oh, excellent.
I think they had the set of the week.
Excellent. They would go close to having the set of the week. I think Kalia, unbelievable pipes. Like Ken sang really,
Ken
really
sang.
well. The band brought the energy.
The live sax.
Shout out to Ash on the live sax.
Oh,
He was absolutely nailing that vibe.
sax has to be the sexiest instrument.
It's up there.
But what's sexier than sax? Like we saw sax live, and 5 fully grown men all looked at each other and went, "Yeah, this is like."
That's true. What I would
It was
say,
a bit of
we all trilled our R's, became
We did.
Spanish for a bit. But I think there's different kinds of sexy, you know? Like sax is definitely like one of the sexiest instruments in terms of like the lights are low, it's a smoky bar, like that kind of sexy.
yeah,
But there is something sexy about someone who just can play a really good piano.
yeah.
Like that's a different kind of sexy.
But what sort of piano? Like slow, like low and slow? Or
Yeah,
is it,
like a
they're not out here playing fucking Beethoven.
no, I'm thinking more like a loungy, like Burt Bacharach kind
Yeah.
of. You know what I mean? There's something sexy about
It's
that.
like a good evening, everybody.
Yeah, that kind of, that's a bit sexy.
Yeah, take a seat.
And then like, and there's something sexy about a guitar sometimes.
Yeah, like a big 7-string Ibanez.
Double neck.
Yeah, yeah. 6 foot tall like amp stack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think guitar sexy is more like it's the Kurt Cobain like sad sexy.
I wouldn't say that's sexy. I'd say that's more troubled.
I mean, it's trouble, but it's troubled sexy. You
I
know?
think like effortless fingerstyle guitar, like flamenco fingerstyle on like the nylon strings.
I'm gonna pull us out of that hole. Some other shouts for some of the bands that were nailing it. Darts, New Zealand punk, really good. Tiffy, friend of the show, nailed both. I saw both performances, one at Brightside Outdoors, one at Eclipse. Now, Sam, there's a continuing tradition that's happened for Bigsound.
There really is. Oh my god, this was.
Do you want to talk about last year's experience, and then I can fill them in on this year's experience? We've talked about last year's experiences often, but I want you to remind the listeners.
Yeah, so last year at Big Sound, we checked out Battlesnake, highlight of last year's Big Sound. And this man, probably mid-30s, was trying to woo a woman. They were having some drinks just in front of us. We were on a small platform, probably to the stage left, just off the sort of the mosh pit. Probably, I reckon, a 2-foot incline. Or a 2-foot raised.
2 foot.
Yeah.
2 foot.
Let's say
Probably like 7 or 8 inches.
yeah, which is enormous. That's just ungodly. But the man had brought her a drink. He'd come on and he thought he'd give a bit of energy. He thought he'd woo her and give her a little bit of the how's your father, if you will. Anyway, the man has forgotten to realise the spilt drink on the ground where his foot and all the weight of his body is about to land. So the man's jumped up with his drinks as if to go, "Hey, baby, let's have a good time." And his feet have come out from under him.
Full cartoon style.
Full cartoon. His legs are in the air. He's holding his drinks. And he lands flat on his back. Max and I are watching it from behind, having to turn around to our girlfriends as if we're having a conversation whilst crying with laughter. And old mate's trying to go, "No, I'm fine. No, it's funny. I'm really having fun." But
So
there's a pattern that
thank God
suggests
that no one has done anything as stupid as that.
well, there's a pattern that's unfolding that every Big Sound, someone around
Has a bit of a tumble.
acts as themselves.
And that someone happened to be me, Sam. It was me and my knee, which you can see. You can have a look. Check out that solid bit of bruising there. It's pretty good on my knee. So to describe the scene for listeners, we're going upstairs at the Eclipse nightclub, and Sam literally had turned to me and been like, "You said something about like careful on the stairs or something." I can't remember exactly what you said. But he said something about like the flow of traffic on the stairs or something, and you were like, "Just watch out." And so I've kind of been like, I didn't quite hear what you said, and tried to sort of catch up to you.
Oh.
And so in doing so, and trying to like speed up a little on the stairs, bang, left foot's caught the lip of the step. And I'll tell you what, I'm just shy of 6'5".
Yep.
I'm well over a ton on the scale, and I've hit my century. I've raised the bat many moons ago, Sam, And I'll tell you what, all of that coming down in one go, just fucking
Oh my God.
knocking over bollards and ropes, just making a fucking scene.
I'm going to message Eclipse right now. And I really hope, this is a shout out to Eclipse. I'm going to message you and ask for the CCTV from that moment.
I could probably tell you almost exactly when it was if it helps.
Yeah, if you can.
It was Thursday night. We were going to see Breathe, so it was probably just prior to 9 p.m. I was going to say it's like in the 8:50 mark.
Yeah. Lovely.
So yeah, that would be, I would say, a low light of Bigsound for me.
No, it was amazing. It was genuinely the funniest time. I was crying.
A couple other very quick shouts. I could not make hide nor hair of the band Dust. They were kind of the one that everyone talked about.
Oh, that was so strange.
Again, saxophone, but I wouldn't say sexy saxophone this time. Just odd. I said to a friend we were with that it was like 5 musicians rocked up for 5 different gigs at the same time. And it wasn't bad, I want to clarify, but it was just, I was confused. I didn't know what to expect. I couldn't make really anything of it, but it was charismatic. Like I felt like there was a vibe, but I just couldn't figure what that vibe was.
No, it was like key changes. Yes. One song that sounds like 3. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So for me, they were a bit of a disappointment, not going to lie. But Stand Atlantic.
Huge. Pretty solid.
Too big for Bigsound.
A lot of spinning from the guitarist.
Lots of spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall.
Wouldn't want to get a bit of pizza or pasta sauce on that outfit, would you?
No, you wouldn't. Jeez, it's going to be a lot of traffic going home, isn't there? Yeah.
And one final shout out to an artist that we did flag about wanting to see prior to the show. Lupo the Boy.
Oh, Fred again 2.0.
Caught him live, and well, we knew kind of a lot of the time going into it was going to be mellow.
Yeah.
And then next thing we knew, just this fucking ripping drop out of nowhere. And we were like, oh, how is that? And I'll tell you what, that was out.
How's that one? Got him.
Got him.
Got him in the buddy off stump there. And why am I a horse racer? Horse caller. And they're off and racing down the straight. And we've got Jocks your uncle in lane number 4. And then acoustic guitar in lane number 5.
I'll leave that. We'll leave that there. We'll park that, eh?
Yeah.
Park the horse.
Anyway, we've got news.
We do have news.
Because, I know I've jumped the gun.
No, please, you jump in.
Linkin Park have a new lead singer. Chester Bennington.
What happened to Chester?
Forget him. He's old news.
Past. Gone.
Yeah, he's in the past now.
Yeah.
And passed up. He's found the church.
Mm.
Well, speaking of, they've introduced Emily Armstrong to the fold.
Neil's sister.
Yeah, and Louis' cousin.
Oh, knew that relation.
So there are blood relations, and Lance's daughter. But that's a stretch. So she was the co-founder of Dead Sarah. But she's recently been announced as the Linkin Park lead singer. And there's been some live videos going around, and she genuinely fits the sound perfectly, in my opinion.
Right.
But it's not without its controversy, isn't Maxwell?
To be honest, I don't know. I want to have to follow your lead on this. I haven't really been following the news. I saw it happen, but that's about it.
There's talk.
Ooh.
Well, Linkin
whispers,
Park have received some backlash.
Right.
But in this day and age, you can't really announce anything without backlash. There's either, you can't please everyone. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be a Karen or a Christian, Oh, in this case, a full-on Christian. Because there's murmurs that she's aligned with Tom Cruise's mob.
Right.
Yeah.
Scientists.
The scientists of the ologies.
Right.
And more than that, there's also some ties to Danny Masterson.
From that 70s show.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't really know. Look, I'm not here to...
What kind of aspersions are we casting here, Sam?
Well, I'm not here to, judge thee, if you will. I don't know the full story, and nor do I really have the time or the patience to deep dive into it. But Linkin Park have a new singer. She sounds great live. You'll never please everyone. There seems to be some backlash around some things. I don't know the full extent of it.
I mean, all of the backlash, I'm assuming, is why didn't they just sort of let it be?
Well, yeah, the Beatles did, didn't they?
No, famously they kept releasing
Yeah.
songs. But I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of people are like, just like, Chester's gone, R.I.P. Let the beauty that was Linkin Park remain.
Yeah.
While we bring it back. But a lot of great bands have come back after like AC/DC lost Bon Scott and then released the second biggest album of all time.
I don't think they're going to be Brian Johnson quite.
I don't know. But that's the thing, like a lot of bands go on, like in a second phase, go on to do something entirely different. Like again, not related in terms of like anyone dying, but like, you had Genesis when Peter Gabriel was in the band, and then they were like prog rock weird art house stuff.
Yep.
And then they ditched Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel ditched them. Phil Collins came up front and made like 80s electro pop bangers. So like completely different vibe.
True.
One was probably way more popular than the other. The second iteration was probably way more popular. So like, who knows what this means in terms of musical direction and like what comes out.
But do you think Linkin Park can have a second life with a new singer, or do you think their legacy and Linkin Park in general will always be Chester?
I think there's some things that will always be Chester.
Yeah.
Like I know that with AC/DC, they don't do It's a Long Way to the Top.
That's a Bon Scott song.
Because that's a Bon Scott song. And not like they do some Bon Scott songs, but like that was like his song with the bagpipes and everything. Like that was his thing.
There's a lot of songs Emily's not going to be able to sing live.
Well, that's what I mean. Like it depends. Like it doesn't mean that all of the songs are off limits or whatever, but maybe there's a couple that they retire and they say like these are
because they were special.
These are like Chester's songs.
Numb, One Step Closer, Paper Cut, What I've Done, Breaking the
Well,
Habit.
that's Optimus's song. So
no, that's New Divide. Oh no.
That was Optimus' second song. Yeah.
Fuck. Transformers went so much harder because of Linkin Park.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Absolutely.
Without Linkin Park, Transformers would have bombed more than it did after the second movie.
Oh, the third one held up all right. And by held up, I mean, like it's terrible, but it did good numbers.
I don't know. Is that the one where Megan Fox isn't in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rosie Huntington.
Yeah.
Whiteley.
Yep.
Too many syllables.
Jason Statham's misses.
The more you know. This turns weirdly into movie podcasts at the end of the day.
Almost like they're related to the arts, aren't they?
They are, aren't they? Now in this modern art.
What's your take? Like if Linkin Park came to Australia, would you be there?
No. I wouldn't have been there anyway.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I saw them once and,
Soundwave?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were good. Chester was there. I don't know. I just think I think I've just grown out of Linkin Park a bit. Some of their songs will always hit really hard. But I probably wouldn't spend the money. Mm-hmm. It's like if, I don't know, Incubus came or... I grew up listening to Incubus.
Linkubus Park.
Linkubus Park. Or like the Pooh Fighters.
Yeah, right.
You probably wouldn't spend the money, but you know enough of their songs, you know?
I mean, I have been to the Foo Fighters. I did spend
Fighters.
So, but he's like... Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
In this day and age, this economy,
Yeah.
Pocket the money.
Well, speaking where you might get a great saving, Sam, and see a few pretty solid acts in the process.
Is that right?
We previously talked about how Spilt gone. We cried over it, but they're back, Sam.
They're back.
When all hope seemed lost,
and he's there.
It was Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Sam, Spilt Milk House Party is here, dropping just 5. I can't count today. Dropping just 5 artists, going to 3 locations: Perth, Gold Coast, and Newcastle. Still around November. So we're looking Sunday the 17th in Perth, the 23rd and the 24th in Gold Coast and Newcastle.
Yep.
They're bringing Glass Animals on a skip one and come back to that one. G-Flip, Artemis, and Psycho. Sicko. The one that they're bringing that I skipped was Troye Sivan, who was very heavily rumoured to be on the main one.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they've pulled him back. Maybe there was some kind of contract dispute. They resolved it, and they didn't want to leave the people in the lurch. It's for those 5 artists, awesome. Like each, like Glass Animals and Troye Sivan, each you're gonna be paying a couple $100 to see their solo shows.
Yep.
So I think
interesting they put Glass Animals above Troye Sivan.
For an Australian audience, I think that holds up. If this was America, I'd put Troy up top. Sorry, I'm just vomiting in my mouth there.
I'd put Troy.
But Glass Animals, I think, like, off the back, they're still. I'm pretty sure Heatwaves is still in like the top 40. somehow.
It's a shame.
Yeah. And I like that song. It's not bad. But I mean, Glass Animals' Choice of RNG Flip, like that's a pretty.
Who's Artemis? Because Artemis is just getting the biggest fucking career growth bonus here.
I do not know who that person is.
Exactly.
That's going to make me look like a little
Oh,
silly
she
boy.
sings "I Like the Way You Kiss Me." The
Change
TikTok song.
the way you kiss me, by example.
I like the way you kiss me.
Oh, yeah.
Yuck. We don't sing that together.
Banger though.
Can you feel
The love tonight.
Why'd you go like that, man? Why'd you go with that accent?
Anyway, that's coming up. Let's see how much the tickets cost, but what a little win.
Yeah, it is a win.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I bought Choice of Arn tickets for an exorbitant amount of money. Molly.
An absorbent amount of money.
An exorbitant amount of
A couple of sheets of Viva.
An exorbitant amount of Molly.
Fair enough. It's a good trade.
Anyone got some chewy? Anyway, we were talking probably I'd say the other day.
Oh, were we?
Yeah, about how 2020 onwards, there's no real sound. Because in the
we were talking about this. This is going way back. Yeah,
I
sorry.
know,
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah.
So like early 2000s was new metal and then like hyper pop in a way. Not
Yep.
hyper pop, but like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and
Bubblegum pop.
bubblegum pop. There
Yep.
you go. Then you moved into sort of the late 2000s, and you had
Did you emo rock?
your emo rock, you know, your Cobra Starships, your Short Stacks, your Plain White Tees, your Owl Cities.
You had
Metro
rap coming to the
Station.
front. You had your Kanye's.
You did.
You had your Pusha T's.
You did.
You had other artists that Kanye has featured on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
You had, yeah. And then we moved in, and it's sort of in every sort of 5-year stint, there's been a sound that you go, yep, there was heaps of that sound coming through. Like, and even the early 2010s was like Robin Thicke and like weird.
Well, then there was that weird part where it was like sad bangers, like
Yeah.
your Lord and Billie Eilish, where it was
Florence and the Machine.
yeah, like it
Yeah.
was a bit down tempo, but still like pop, and you could sing along to it and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But until this year, we haven't really had a defining sound that's been common through the last nearly 5 years.
Yeah.
But we think we found it because 2024 is the year of the horny girl albums.
These are some of the horniest albums
Because-
you ever done here.
I just listened to the Sabrina Carpenter album, and that woman
That's a horny album.
she is looking for it. She's on the prowl. And that's off the back of Charlie XCX,
Yeah.
who, I mean, the sexual tension between her and Billie Eilish in Gas is like, it's,
Pull it to the side, got up all up in it.
it's palpable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sitting there going,
Blushing. Oh,
I need to.
it's a bit hot in here.
It is a bit. Anyone got a moist towelette? I'm a bit warm. I'm not sorry. I'm not usually like this. But then you've also got Chapel Roan.
There's a lot of sexual tension in that album.
There's just sexual tension left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And is this maybe not the last few years, but is 2024 the year of the horny girl album?
Okay. Here's a bit of a theory. I'm going to take that theory. I'm going to take that label.
I'm gonna take that thing.
Can I bet that bang? Horny girl pop. Because I feel
Yeah.
like hip hop's been having its horny girl moment for like the last, like WAP.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the Nicki Minaj, a lot of like Megan Thee Stallion, a lot of like Ken the Man, that kind of like, they've been like hip hop,
yeah.
especially like female fronted hip hop has been having a real horny girl moment for a while.
Doja Cat.
Doja Cat, like it's very like sexually empowering.
The
Especially
girls are getting their own.
Exactly. Like I think the change here is that it's come across into pop, like straight up and down pop. That's top 40 mainstream. Like, and not to say that those other artists weren't top 40 mainstream, but like the kind, like it's gone bubblegum. Horny's gone bubblegum, I suppose.
You know who hasn't gone horny bubblegum?
Who's that?
Taylor Swift.
Maybe it's time. Maybe. But like,
Sorry, that made me ill.
I think that might be our defining sound is like the female empowerment of. You right over there?
I'm just. Oh, yuck.
Because we did talk about how
If the color beige was a person.
Hey, beige needs to fuck too. That's fine. Beige needs to get its rocks off. But I think like we did when we were talking about how there was no distinct sound, we did talk about how female pop was right at the top of the the top of the charts literally, but also in terms of like the defining sound of the last 4 or 5 years has been female fronted.
Yeah.
And there's not been, like, especially when it comes to pop, there's not been like a defining male pop act yet.
Yeah.
There's been like The Weeknd had a pretty big start to the 2020s, obviously, like came into like absolutely smashing it with like Blinding Lights and stuff like that. But then I feel like it kind of fallen away, and like, you know, everyone still listens to The Weeknd, but it's not like, I'm not like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, this has been The Weeknd's period of time.
Well, I also feel like in a way, these female artists, like, it's a generalization, but they care more about their fans. They care to actually follow through on tours. You look at what's happening with The Weeknd at the moment, where he's cancelled 2 Australian tours and he's announced a third and cut Brisbane entirely.
Yeah.
And people are like, nah, fuck yeah, I'm not going to your show. Like,
Yeah.
well, I've already wasted money twice. I'm not going to waste money again.
Yeah.
Potentially to be let down. Whereas these female artists, you see Sabrina Carpenter grinded and opened for Taylor Swift everywhere. She blew up. Charlie XCX, I think, plays a lot of live shows.
She does. She's doing a lot of like DJ sets, boiler room sets, things like that at the moment. Which like she's joining the Dare on stage a lot of the time.
Yep.
For individual shows.
And I'm seeing Chapel Roan everywhere.
Yep.
She's playing festivals everywhere.
Yep.
But they're just reliable. You know that if you love this album or you love these songs, you can actually go and see them live. Whereas I feel like a lot of male pop artists, you're either waiting years and years, and then they charge fucking outrageous prices, which is fair given their status, or they're just cancelling tours.
Yeah. The other thing is, when you think about artists who are like not in line, but probably got the early tip for Grammy's album of the year.
Yep.
Beyonce, Cowboy Carter.
Yep.
Sabrina Carpenter with Short and Sweet.
Yep.
I think Chapel Roan's out of contention because I think she might fall in the wrong part of the year. I can't remember exactly when Midwest Princess came out, but I think it might have been too early.
A bit late too.
I think Brat's right in the middle there. So I think like there's 4.
And then you'll no doubt have Taylor Swift in there.
Well, Tortured Poet Department was also this year, so that's 5.
Yeah.
So that's 5. Usually the Grammys pull about 8 or 9. So over half of.
And you'd throw Post Malone in there maybe.
Possibly. He might get put into a genre category though with that country release.
Yeah. But I genuinely can't think of any like male pop albums.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is really definitive about, aside from being horny, the other thing that's very definitive about those albums is they're all really obvious genre crosses. Like no 2 songs on Short and Sweet sound the same. There's like there's like a indie pop song. There's a couple of country sounding inflected ones. There's whatever you'd call espresso, which is I guess just straight up pop. There's
Taste is a little bit like there's sort of like rock elements to it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and same with Chapel Roan, like, you know, you've got ones that are full on dance, you've got slow piano ballads, you've got kind of indie rock sounds.
You got like mid-2000s sing-alongs with Hot to Go.
Exactly. And then you've got Beyonce, who that whole album is about genre crossing and genre definitions being kind of broken down. Charlie XCX, I mean, it's mostly rooted in EDM and dance, but there is a lot of moments in that album that are in Brat that kind of sit across. So like, I think that horny pop and genre defying pop is kind of where we're sitting as a sound.
I don't mind it.
I like it.
Because the people are loving it.
Bit for everyone, you know?
It is a bit.
Yeah.
The guys get some, the girls get more.
And the boys are just sad at the moment.
The boys are sad.
Post Malone's album, excellent, very sad. The Weeknd, as we said,
always sad or horny.
Sad and horny.
Yeah, it's really strange. I own a couple of his records on account of my girlfriend mainly, but man.
Don't shift blame.
Well, I don't listen to him.
Right.
But man, that man is gross. The things he's singing, I'm like, put your manners back in.
Would you kiss your mother with that mouth?
You kiss your mother with that mouth, Abel.
That's right. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm here for that sort of takeover of pop. We've also left Olivia Rodrigo entirely out of the conversation, and Dua Lipa.
How could we do that too?
Who, you know, have both had albums in the last at least 18 months, if not this year. So they're, you know, It's pop is absolutely female at the moment.
It's poppin'. Well, we're going to get to the suitcase because I don't really have a topic for you.
Okay.
But I've got a couple of breakdowns of the week. We're going to bring that back. We like to balance it out with a bit of pop, bit of heft, bit of, your mum's, your dad kind of vibe. So I'm going to just get your take on a couple of breaky Ds.
Yep.
One of them is a band we actually saw at Bigsound, who I'd never heard of. They just signed to Unified. They're called Alienist.
Okay. Oh, yep. No, we did see these guys.
And I was really impressed.
Yep.
They were a bit strange to watch on stage. They were just big burly dudes.
Tell you what, he's a big unit, but can move.
Can move. I actually liked his like awkward 1-2 step back and forward. Like I was a big fan. Anyway, they played this song and I looked them up and this song, this little breakdown, it's a doozy.
A doozy.
It's a real doozy.
All right.
So I'm going to fade this in and on our new toy.
This is brand new technology.
Brand new tech. As we said, we had a couple of really interesting meetings at Bigsound and look at us now. We've got headphones, we've got tech. We're going to fade in shit.
Oh, fuck. Crazy.
Wow. We're making waves. You 25 listeners are so lucky. Look at me now, mum. All right. First song, it's called Prisoner of You.
All right. Okay. No, keep going. Yeah, I knew there was something coming. I knew there was going to be a second bit because I was like, it's there.
The big gang
Yeah,
chant.
yeah. I didn't mind that.
It's very wage war. If you know who they are,
I'm not in the union, man. I'm not fighting about wages, brother.
I'm not in the union. They get a lot of shit in America as being like the stereotype metalcore band.
Right.
But this is like old school wage war where shit hits.
Yeah, right. What was that song called again?
Prisoner of You.
Prisoner of You.
So I like that one.
Yeah. And look, seeing it, I'm pretty sure we saw that live.
Yeah, it was a vibe.
Heft.
Well, speaking of heft, I spoke about these guys on TikTok. Justice for the Damned are going to be huge.
Yeah.
They're on probably the extreme end of the heavy side of things. So if you find North Lane and Amity and Polaris a bit heavy,
Yep.
you're not going to like Justice for the Damned.
We're talking French house. We're talking 70s English rock.
We're talking
one for the other.
Yeah, we're talking
Yep.
bits and pieces.
Yep.
But I'm going to play you this one. I'm going to fade it in. This is an old Justice for the Damned song, but I've only recently come across it. I knew of it, but I didn't listen to it much. But this shit, it's not hefty. It's filthy.
Filthy.
You're going to need a chucks because this shit's filthy.
Get the Ajax, brother.
Got the Ajax, brother.
Oh. That's very dissonant.
Gotta stop someone in your T-ends.
Yeah. Mate, the Tooth Fairy would love cleaning up after this pit.
Endless windmills.
Oh, it's like a Dutch farm.
And then the tech.
What is that? That, just to clarify, that was part of the song.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. What was that?
That's the techno infusion.
Technologic.
Oh, shout out Lupo the boy for mixing techno.
Yeah, that was a
logic
red
at
hot
the end.
mix.
But then the drop was shit. Lupo, you're on notice. Play the real drop. But anyway, that
Also,
was
shout out to the one dude who was just dancing, just living his best life.
I've never seen a man's eyes beam that much. It was like he just put the high beams on his bloody Honda Civic, and he was like, "Ping!" We were trying to network, and every single person we were talking to was like, "Quick, don't make eye contact! Don't make eye contact!" Because he looked like the type to go, "Hello, friends."
It started like stroking your face a little
Yeah.
bit.
Wow, you're very handsome, aren't you? But anyway, that was the suitcase. Let me know what you think of those breakdowns if you're listening, and if you don't like them, then harden up.
I think we've had a good run. We've had a very big week.
Are you
last
breaking
week.
up with me?
I think this is it, Sam.
It's not you, it's me.
You can take the 7.
Actually, sorry, it's not me. It's actually you.
You can take the 7. I'll take the 8, and we can.
Well, no, you take the 78. I'll take the amps because they're the pieces that we brought to the table when we first started this.
Where can people find out a bit more, where can people hear some of our dumbest opinions?
Google.
Yep, fair call.
Yep. No, just look up our name on any platform. We're on all of them.
It's a 7. It's an 8, the numbers, numerical form.
Yes.
Then AMPED.
Yes.
Yep.
Which I think would be, if we made it big enough where we had company cars, we'd have one with a 78. That would cost a bomb to get a personalised 78 plate.
Sure.
And then we could go AMPD. That revved your little engine, didn't it?
I don't feel like Tim Allen, Home Improvement. Who?
Yeah. But anyway, on that note, it's been nice. It's been real. Say hello to your mothers for us.
Fuck, absolutely that's not becoming your sign off.